Yo, yo, what's good? What's good? You ain't seen me in a minute, but we are back. And I'll make sure that y'all can hear me on this beautiful Thursday. Let's see. Oh, snap. Completely forgot that y'all don't even see my face. So we'll handle that. And some things we're gonna go over today. It felt like somewhat of a slow news week, I guess, in my opinion. There we go. All right, so y'all should be able to see me now. But first, we're going to talk about the BET Hip Hop Awards and Soul Train Awards that we have here. Now, this is news that I'm not sure that a whole lot of people even care about, but it's kind of valuable information. For black people, it's information worth something. If you care enough about what black people have going on in our lives. Why is this thing popping up on the screen? Stuff don't pop up until you decide to go live. That's how it goes. Alright, let's see if we can get this off. Might have to go to another. X's everywhere. Get off. Come on, go away. BET Hip Hop Awards and Soul Train Awards have been suspended indefinitely. I was at the BET Awards, but I don't know if it was the Hip Hop Awards I was at or like the regular BET Awards. I don't know if there's a difference. Bro, did they just block out all the words? Dog. Rolling Stone, what is y'all on, bruh? There we go. Alright, the future of the BET Hip Hop Awards and Soul Train Awards is in limbo. In a recent interview with Billboard, BET CEO Scott Mills confirmed that the two staple award ceremonies will not return for the foreseeable future as the company works to reconfigure its place amid changes in the media and entertainment industries. How I translate that is, ain't nobody watching this shit. Um, Now, if it was the BET Hip Hop Awards that I was at in LA this past year, uh, they did bring all they could. They Kendrick Lamar, um, Kevin Hart, Kurt Franklin, Glorilla did her thing. Um, Cashapp, they Drewski, they brought out everybody they could. So if that didn't save it, then nothing will. That's how I feel. For BT Linear, we have suspended Soul Train and Hip Hop Awards shows. We have a team that's actively thinking about where those award shows might best live as the media climate continues to evolve. They aren't gone. Soul Train started in 1987. Viewers increased for the Soul Train Awards in 2024. Then why y'all suspending it? If it has y'all not making money? BET Hip Hop Awards lost in '06, but nobody ever really watched the BET Awards. Like, I mean, we did, but if you're too young to know, BET used to have a whole bunch of commercials. They used to have more commercials than the show. BET just had a lot of issues, if you ask me, trying to do award shows for black people, do award shows or TV shows. Their ducks weren't always in a row. Um, but let's see what um, the Breakfast Club had to say right here.
Mills sat down from BET, sat down with Gail Mitchell over at Billboard, and they had a conversation about BET's 45-year legacy.
He's the CEO of BET.
Yes,
right?
CEO of BET. Yes. And they had a
This is I think his name was Scott Mills. What did we say? Because I wanted to look him up. Just says Mills. Oh, Scott Mills, yeah. I think it was sold to him.
conversation about the legacy of 45 years of BET. Now, within the conversation, they talked about a ton of different things, but one of the major things that came out of this interview was we learned that the BET Hip Hop Awards and the BET Soul Train Awards are going to, or right now, are suspended. So Gail Mitchell asked Scott if he can confirm the chatter, because there have been conversation about two of BET Award shows, the Soul Train and the Hip Hop Awards, no longer happening. So he says that, he wouldn't say that it's, not happening. He says that right now, as of right now, they are suspended. But basically what they're trying to figure out at BET is how do they bring or do these award shows in a way where it fits where the media landscape is today, because it might not mean that the Hip Hop Awards or the Soul Train Awards have to be on linear TV. But he does say that they are not gone. I know yesterday, I saw a conversation around the awards being completely gone and canceled. Yeah. He says in this article, they are not gone. They're just trying to find a way to rework it so that it fits where we are now. And when he says that, they had already previously had a conversation about like the other ventures that BET has. So whether it's BET Plus or, BET Digital, where do they put the award show so that they work out better? Now, she follows up this question with asking about the 2025 BET Awards, because when this year's BET Awards went down, although the show was amazing, the ratings were a lot lower than they were last year. So there had been conversation about the BET Awards being canceled as well, and because of the viewership. So she says viewership dropped almost 50% in a key demographic, which is 18 years old to 49 years old from last
They said 18 through 49. Nigga, that's everybody, dog.
year's show. She asked Scott Mills, does he have any concerns about the longevity of the BET Awards? And he says viewership was down, but the cable ecosystem is smaller, number one, than it was a year ago. And that's just the reality of it. But he also says that a lot of it has to do with the fact that last year they changed the BET Awards from the Sunday that it's always on to a Monday. Now, when that change was announced, people were confused because it's always on that certain Sunday. I think it's like the third Sunday in June.
That was the one I was at. It was on a Monday. It was extremely inconvenient for me to fly to LA from Atlanta for this show. I personally think that Tyler Perry is gonna buy BET or buy the BET Awards. It seems like he's taking over BET anyway. Might as well let him go ahead and buy it, and he'll probably revamp it and figure that out.
People were confused and people were wondering why. So I did some poking around yesterday to try and figure out, because he didn't answer the question as to why it was moved around. He just said that they were going to bring it back. They're going to take it back to the original Sunday. But the show was good. He gave a big props to Connie Orlando, said, they did an amazing job this year with the show, but we can't get around what happened. And from what I was told, the reason why it was moved around was because there was a huge sporting event that was happening at that time that they couldn't work, like they needed certain venues, and they used the JW Marriott Hotel and different venues, and they didn't have access to the things that they needed, so they had to move the day. I was confused about that because I'm like, a show as big as the BET Awards, I thought you would book out the venues you need for years at a time, probably. Correct. Yeah. And what I was told was that sometimes people do that, but because, again, the landscape of things are changing every single day, it's hard to predict what will and what won't happen a year from now, 2 years from now. So
Salute to Scott Mills, but I don't know why he's complicating this. These shows just aren't making no money.
Yeah,
like that's just the moral of the story. The reality of the situation. None of these shows are making the money they need to be on. It's just that simple. If these shows were making money and if these shows were profitable, these shows it would be no question about none of these award shows. They'd be on.
Not only that, you look at the Hip Hop Awards, and if you don't
if you lose 50% of your viewership and it's hip hop, bro. Hip hop already is like a small ecosystem. Unless you're gonna bring Drake, it's already a small ecosystem. So hip hop really don't make no money like that. So, hey.
Have the top 5 hip hop artists coming to your show, and you're doing a hip hop award show, that kind of hurts as well, right?
Yeah.
Whoever your top 5 award, your top 5 rappers are. If you don't have Kendrick performing or Drake performing or Future or Travis Scott or whoever the top 5 is that people say, if they're not at your hip hop award show, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? You want to see that represented. And we've seen it represented. You know what I mean? We've seen Michael Jackson at these award shows when it was time for those award shows. We've seen Hove. We've seen Dre. We've seen.
I don't know if there's really much else to talk about, bro. They're losing viewership. Hip hop's a small ecosystem. The big rappers don't want to come. The end. For 2026, BT plans to move the show back to its usual time. Wow, big whoop. All right.